somebody who can love me in my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. Cause it's only you, nobody. I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I do. Hey.
Hi everybody, it's arrived. The 3D scanner has arrived from China all the way here to the UK, so I thought I'd do a quick unboxing and we'd look at it as I see it and as it's arrived, and you can get a feel for it. I know people like unboxing videos, and I'll chuck in some first impressions and the basic setup. Hopefully I can get it to work pretty quickly. You're all the way back there, the other end of the office from me. I'm going to clear down the wargaming table. It's quite a big box, so we can get it out and have a look at it. So let's get all this moved and then I can get the box on the table. Okay, so here it is. It's arrived. From placing the order and paying for it, I think it took all of 4 or 5 days to arrive. It was sent Federal Express from China, so really quick, and a quality courier. Still concerned, however, with things that have cost that amount of money that have come so far. I have ordered table routers, laser cutters and 3D printers, and I don't think I've anything seriously damaged so far, so that's pretty good. Things are normally encased these days in a really rubbery, solid, dense foam, if you know what I mean, if you've had anything from there, so they're quite well protected. As soon as it arrived, I checked it out. It's definitely the item because it's in a Thunk3D box. The only thing that concerned me when it arrived is this. It looks like somebody's put their foot in it, kicked it, walked on it, stood on it, or another parcel's bashed into it. Doesn't feel too deep, so hopefully if it's well packed that's not done any damage, but a little bit concerned about that. But apart from that, all I've done so far is take my name and address off the top. So let's crack on and see what's inside. Scalpel nurse. We have a box in a box. I thought this might be the actual box with all the logo and printing on, but it seems we've got another. Give me one sec. I'm gonna have to turn this upside down to get this out. 1 second. Okay, here we are. Box in a box. First thing, if I'm honest, I checked out was the damage. It has gone through to this box, but this box seems to have taken that damage. It doesn't seem, unless the actual scanner is up against the inside, which hopefully not, as long as there's any padding. And again, it's a perfect U shape, so it looks like some nice courier man has stood on it. Thank you very much. Okay, let's the old scalpel out again and see what's in here. It's quite a sturdy box, well made. First thing I can see, even through the holes in the tabs, is we do have that super dense plasticky foam protecting it, so that's good. Okay, so we have a top tray of items. I'll bring the camera over and zoom in so you can see those. Okay, so the good news is it's solidly packed in foam. It's like a lot of the 3D printers I've received. It's a really dense foam. I had to tip it up again to get it out. I've cut the sides and I've undone this lid on top. I'll bring the camera further over now so we can look at the printer as I take the shell off. So this is what's in that top section. Interesting selection of parts. Most obvious thing, we have a USB stick, branded, although generic made. Presumably this has got the software on, or maybe it's a dongle for a security lock. I hope not, because they're just a bit of a pain, but check out what's on that in a moment. This, which looks like a mounting disc with numbered sockets, which I think is for when you're scanning multiple parts, you put them into here. And yep, another mount. Okay, it's like a little tabletop vise for holding parts. Again, it has the same mount back and socket as it looks. It fits into the scanner. Interestingly, I'll try to open it there. It's got a reverse thread. I wonder why that is. It's normally a righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but this is exactly the opposite. Interesting. What are these? Ah, okay. Faber-Castell tack blobs. So these are like blue tack in the UK. I assume these are for use with this plate to mount the small parts. Okay, this is the, I've seen these before, this is the calibration plate. Yeah, it's got the same sockets at the mount, it's at a set angle, and these dots will be at known positions. So you'll run this through before you run an object in an initial setup, which will calibrate the scanner. And what looks like a depth adapter, I'll say a spring-loaded depth adapter. Looks like we're not going to get a UK plug. Oh, this has got one on, but hopefully if it's a standard plug and not built in, I'll probably replace that. Okay, let's dive into the box itself. Okay, so the scanner itself, the things you just saw in the top here. Come on. This was fun to cut around here. In fact, there's wires in here. I'm just going to stop the camera because I might just turn this on its side. Okay, here it is. Initial thoughts are, it's very simple, there's not much to it, it's very basic, in a good way. It's not covered in controls and screens. Built really well. It's metal, it's steel. The whole shell is steel. No plastic here at all. As I suspected, the mount here matches the accessories. So you can see here the three knobs. I can see magnets into there, so presumably these mounts just clip on. Yeah, they do. That's really good. And the calibration mount, we used that when we first set it up, so that's really nice. If you know anything about precision engineering, glass is usually really flat, and this isn't just a cheap piece of plastic. This is actually a piece of glass that's been ground and epoxied onto here with that silk screened on top. It's done really nicely. It has, interestingly, around the back, a USB cable that's actually hardwired into it. So the cable, if you can see, is really long. I would say 2 meters, but something to consider. I'm assuming you're going to run it directly off the PC anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue. But also the power, it looks like a normal kettle lead, so hopefully I won't have to use this, because this is the plug that's come with it. I'm not actually sure where this is from. The converter will convert to anything, but it doesn't seat in very well. I will use the adapter and check the voltage just to make sure it is putting out mains and it's not doing any conversion. I'm pretty sure from looking at it, it is just a plug adapter rather than a voltage adapter. But I'll check that, and then I'll use a standard UK power connector. So I'm going to put it on the desk, get it connected up, install the software off the dongle, and then get it calibrated and try scanning something. I can't wait to start. Okay, so the software is really easy to install. It is what was on the USB stick, as well as with a couple of setup videos and an instruction guide. So that's handy. It looks straightforward. It installs straight away. The only thing to note is when I first fired it up, in fact every time I fire it up, it does warn about it's made by an unknown publisher and it wants to make changes to your device. I think I can bypass this in the Windows settings, but it does do it every time, so just be warned. It does seem okay. I've scanned it for antivirus and malware and it came back fine, and it does seem to run fine, so that's good. I also tried to fire it up first before plugging in the scanner, and I got a warning that you see here saying please insert the dongle correctly and restart the software. And I thought, the USB stick is a security dongle. I plugged it back in after installing the software and it still did this. It turns out actually it means the scanner. The USB stick isn't a security dongle, you don't need it at all. The dongle it's referring to is the actual scanner itself, and once I had that plugged in and turned on and fired off the software, it went straight in. As per the instructions, I went to calibrate it. You can see the little screen is live now down the bottom. See my pictures, my fingers there in the picture. The red shadowing parts are parts that are too glary, and you can actually alter that look on the contrast. You can see the more it glares, you need to get rid of on your model as much of that red as possible. That's the bits it doesn't like, it's overexposed and too light. Let's put the calibration plate on. Hit the calibrate button. Now there's two plates here. I did have to email about which one to pick. It is the 5mm. It wasn't obvious, but the 10mm is for the bigger handheld scanner. You can see it's moving the plate around. Seems to be homing in on those dots. Going through a few different orientations. It's moving quite smoothly, it's quite nice. And there we go. We have an accuracy of 0.002 of a millimetre, well 0.3 if you're rounding up. An extreme value of 68.62. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but it's within the spec of the instructions. So of course I couldn't wait to do a scan. So the first mini I've grabbed is this one. It's a gag from the old Lone Wolf set. It's not the ideal one to pick for this because I'd like to have shared it so people can see the results, whereas this is copyright, so now I can't. But the reason I've grabbed it is I've got several original copies of this miniature, and it's also the one I used when I was trying the photogrammetry in my other video. If you look in my other videos, it's there, so I can distinctly compare the results. So what I did, I just quickly mounted it on a cocktail stick and put it in the clamp that comes with the scanner. This isn't, I'll do another video on how you use the software and the scanning in detail, but as you can imagine, once I got it set it up, I wanted to test it and try it very quickly, because if it had been damaged in shipping or there was an issue, I wanted to find out sooner rather than later so I could get it fixed. What I've done, I'm going to record this in real time, but you're about to see now a scan in real time. So here we go. And here's the result. I am absolutely blown away. It's fantastic. This is just using the standard settings. It asked me where I wanted to save the file. It asked me whether I want a high resolution or a draft low resolution. So I said high. I ran the scan you saw. I did then run it again at a slight angle to give it two views. It does suggest you do that. And this is what popped out. This is absolutely unedited, just the way it is. Well, actually, I've cut the stick off the bottom. I'll take that. This is not covered in a a skin, an image like the photogrammetry one was that gives a false impression. This is just a raw STL. It's absolutely amazing. Of course you need to print it. Last time when I went, oh, where's the results, it's, you know, what's it look like when it's printed. So I printed him out and lined him up with his peers, and there's absolutely no way you would pick him out of a crowd without picking him up. I painted the mini silver to match the lead of the other models. As you can see here, I think the only way I could tell is the swords on the miniatures, because they're old and all second hand as I collected them, are all bent and warped in different ways, and the Scans mini sword matches obviously the originally came from. It's easy to tell on camera because if you zoom in, he is actually the guy in the centre here. Where I've cut the base, it's cut it slightly smaller and his sword matches, and if you look at the top of his helmet you can see some tiny layer lines, but to the eye you absolutely cannot see that. I think if we go back to the scan, all the lumps and bumps on here, some of them might, oh, there's a little lump or a blob there. No, that is 100% representative of how the miniature is, and you've got to remember that we're looking at the miniature at this size in real life. We have the luxury of zooming in on the screen. But yeah, I think it's, if you can tell from this picture, it's easier to tell here than it is in real life. Without picking them up, you would not know. And as a final comparison, let's just look at it to the original photogrammetry scan. And again, I'm taking off the JPEG cover that makes photogrammetry look better if you're not careful. This is a comparison of the two STLs at the front and at the back, and I think you'll see it's a world apart. And this is no settings, just a quick draft, my first go with just hitting play. I'll do another video later on more in-depth use of the software, but I think I'm going to put this down as a fantastic success. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Oh, we are the saviors of the universe. We have found the evil and hunted it all. Yeah. Oh, we are Sky City, and we like to party. We just wanna make some new friends along the way. Yeah. gotta see